Hey everybody, So Wookie here. In this video, we're going to go over the recently released trailer for Total Warhammer 3, the announcement trailer, Conquer Your Demons. Then discuss all the news that has been released and speculate on some of what we don't know. Then at the end of the video, I will let the trailer play so you can watch it again. Hope you enjoy this video. If you do, consider liking and subscribing to see more. At the beginning of the trailer, you can see a cart with dead Kislevites in it, moving through the snow with a camp or city in the background. Next, in a war camp, you can see the Kislev leader, who is suspected to be Tsarina Katerin Bokha, the Ice Queen of Kislev, reading a letter who I think has been sent from Tsar Boris Bokha, who will be the other Kislev legendary lord, who I think will not stay in Kislev but on the map somewhere else, but more on the map later. Then we see a vision of chaos and see a greater demon from each of the 4 chaos gods, which leads me to believe that the chaos gods will be split into 4 different armies: Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch and Khorne. Next we see Tsarina Katerin leave the tent and use the law of ice magic on her sword and helmet as she walks towards the battlefield, which is pretty cool because the law of ice currently isn't in the game, so it's going to be unique law for that faction, which is pretty cool. Then we get a look at some of the Kislev units, including some infantry, Burr cavalry and some winged lancers. Next we get to see the opposing cavalry, which is some Khorne skull crushers. It is worth noting that I would expect to see another version of these ridden by bloodletters, not chaos warriors, in the final game, which would be like a higher tier version of the unit. After this we get to see another Khorne unit, that of the bloodletters, attacking the Kislevite soldiers. After this we see a bloodthirsty killing a lot of soldiers and Tsarina Katerin moving up to engage the greater demon of Khorne. It's at this point she starts to do a spell to attack the demon to try to defeat him. Then, right at the end of the trailer, we see another character in the tent looking at a map that shows Grand Cathay. The map is quite detailed and broke up into provinces, so it could be a hint of what the map will be like. In the top right part of this map, you see a couple of provinces with interesting names. The first is Warpstone Desert, which will likely be a location for a Skaven faction. Another, called Lands of Stone and Steel, which could be a Lost Dwarf hold that could be added in if they do a Chaos Dwarf/Dwarf DLC with, say, Crackerjack as the FLC, which would be really interesting. And finally, a region called Forest of the, but then it's cut off, which could be a location for a Wood Elf faction. This gives me confidence that it won't be boring in this part of the world, as it seems that they are spreading out existing races that are already in the game. That's all we learned from the trailer. Next we'll take a look at the Steam page for the pre-order, as there's some useful information here. The first thing that we see right at the top is that if you pre-order the game, you will get an additional race pack for Game 3, but it isn't stated that it can be used in Game 2 like Norska was. I personally think that it will be the Ogre Kingdoms, not Chaos Dwarfs, as having the Chaos Dwarfs might seem like too much chaos, and the Ogres would be very different and interesting. It would also allow the Warriors of Chaos to have that Chaos Ogre unit, which is currently missing. Next we see that it says Kislev and Grand Cathay have cause to cross the threshold into the realms of chaos. This leads me to believe that the base map of Game 3, which is similar to the Vortex map, will feature a lot of the Chaos Wastes, as it says they are entering the Waste and 4 of the factions are Chaos, so it kind of makes sense. Then finally at the bottom it mentions another character that is looking for a champion, who desires nothing less than to wield supreme power. This to me seems like a hint to Nagash. I don't think he will be there at launch, but instead will be a DLC later down the line, but I do expect to have many teasers in the game referencing him, maybe in like the quests that come up and in certain quest battles there might be little hints here and there, and then finally I think we'll get him in a DLC. Then finally we take a look at the Warhammer FAQ, as there is a decent amount of info here. It says that the game will be more variety than any other game at launch and mentions specifically Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, Khorne, Kislev and Grand Cathay. Plus, whatever the pre-order race will be, it also states that there will be 9 legendary lords at launch, so 1 for each Chaos God, 2 for Kislev, 2 for Grand Cathay, and I think the last one will be Chaos Demons Undivided and will be Be'lakor. Then 2 for the Orc Kingdoms if they are the pre-order race. So in total with pre-orders, 11 legendary lords, which will be absolutely epic. Plenty of content there before they get the first set of DLCs out. So that's it. That's all the info we got today. If I have missed anything, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to see more. I'll leave you with the trailer. Wookie out.
Death is like the winter chill. No door can keep it from us. And summer yet may bloom again, though ice be all upon us. My child, there is so much to tell you that I have run out of time. The sacrifice I made was not enough. The dark gods still feed on our transgressions. Corruption. Obsession. Deceit. Rage. You must face these demons.